While hooked on your phone? Have you ever found yourself waiting for a message that never comes? Maybe she left. Now all you want is her seeing what she is missing and coming back to you. Imagine if I told you she could crawl back to you instead of just walk using a proven technique. Based on ancient Stoic knowledge and psychological understanding. Sounds unreal, right? Today we are exploring 10 practical techniques that not only provide the upper hand after love, rejection, but also help you to take care of your life and emotions. Trust me, you would want not to miss one of them. Therefore, before we begin, make sure you click the subscribe button and like this video, as what you will see may really forever change your love life. Stay right till the very end. You will depart with a whole new perspective. Let us now get right in it. Let's set the scene. Imagine yourself in a relationship. Everything appears perfect. Into this person you have dedicated your time, emotions, and love. She then quietly withdraws, nevertheless. The books become less consistent. The calls stop. Before you know it, she is gone. Times like these make your whole world appear to have collapsed. You feel quite honestly a little lost, abandoned, and powerless. You could even start to yourself, what did I do wrong? How can I get her returned? The irony is that as you become more desperate, she travels more. The crucial lesson is, therefore, that the answer is not about trying to win her back by behaving normally or about following her. It's about acquiring a mindset based in Stoicism, a philosophy spanning thousands of years that draws her in naturally. This isn't about casual gaming here. It is about first learning to become master of oneself, since doing that makes everything change. Tips 1. Master emotional detachment. Have you ever sat there, broken? Wondering why someone meant the world to you decided to go? Maybe you even asked yourself, what did I do wrong? And at that same moment you felt as like your world was collapsing. If you have visited, you exactly know what I mean. You most certainly spent countless hours reviewing every communication, every moment looking for the fix for whatever went wrong. The reality is, however, the more you want those answers, the more you hunt her and the more she slips away. For what cause? People naturally reject such neediness. Now, let me ask you a personal question. Can you remember a time when you started acting differently? Because you so much needed someone? Maybe you start texting her incessantly, strategizing, always thinking about how to bring her back under control and get perhaps too passionate. You should be able to remember how it tasted. She spoke less the more tests you did. This makes Stoicism rather helpful. What if I told you that rather than more, the answer to getting her back under control is really doing less? Not in a passive sense, but more in acquiring emotional detachment. Emotional detachment does not imply you stop loving her. It is rather the process by which you cease allowing her actions control your emotions. It's about getting back the power you gave her for your happiness. Imagine this. Instead of waiting by the phone, you focus on when or if she will text you. You go out with friends, start working on a passion project, or maybe you attend the gym more often. You bring the focus from her posterior to yourself. Over time, something really remarkable happens. You stop reacting to her absence and start to create a life in which her presence is not the only thing that makes you happy. Recall a time when you were very self-confident, that is, when you stopped considering what other people thought of you. Reflect on your power and control. You absolutely have to start cultivating this feeling right now. Not only will you seem better to everyone, not just her, but also learn emotional detachment will help, for individuals naturally find confidence and independence appealing. She pauses abruptly. You are no longer the man waiting for her. Where the transformation happens, you are out there living your life, growing, improving. She starts to ask, what changed? Why is he not following me anymore? And it is at such doubtful period that you have already under control the problem. Emphasizing emotional detachment not only prepares you for her eventual return, but also helps you develop a self free from dependent on her or anyone else for validation. Tips 2. Focus on self-improvement. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you engaged in activity just for you? Not to wow her or anybody else, but rather to boost your own self? Was it a pastime you started recently? One project you got enthusiastic about? Perhaps it was helping with your job or gym attendance. Now consider that emotion, the confidence and pride derived from working on oneself. Recall the magnetic quality of that. The secret is to rediscover magnetic energy when you start focusing on once again developing yourself. This time, however, you are not acting to get her back. Whether she or not is in your life, you are doing this as you deserve to be the greatest version of yourself. And believe me, this mental adjustment changes everything. Imagine her seeing you few weeks or months from now, and you are a very different person. You could have even landed a promotion at work, taken up a new pastime, or set fresh exercise goals. She is radiating independence and confidence. Yet deep down she will start to wonder, did I make a mistake? He is coping without me really well. It also heralds the flash of understanding. When you focus on personal growth, you not only start to appear better in her view, but also lead a life in which you are happy independent of her return or not. Now you are not seeking confirmation from her or anybody else. Living for oneself is the most attractive thing one can do. Let me thus question you, what first step you want to take today to develop personally? Is it showing up at the gym? Starting the project you have been postponing? Start right now, whatsoever it is. Every action you do toward personal growth advances you one step toward the best version of yourself. Tips 3. Apply indifference and let her come to you. Let us examine the power of apathy. This might feel like the toughest stage, especially when every part of you wants to reach out, reconnect, and heal things. The truth is, however, that when you show too much attention, too much enthusiasm, too much availability, you are really pushing her farther away. Think about this. Have you ever noticed that people become more fascinated when something gets harder to get? Our inherently occurring human nature is, someone stops valuing of you as much the moment they know they could have you whenever they want. Every one of us has to learn to live with this horrible reality. Here as well, the same dynamic prevails. Can you remember a time when you were too easily available to someone? Maybe you always scheduled time for them, always got in touch with them right away, and gave them top importance amid everything else, and thus, most likely they started to treat you as nothing more than they gave up trying, knowing you would always be there. Turn the circumstance around right now. Imagine yourself starting to show indifference, not in an angry or disdainful way, but in a calm, confident one. You stop texting her. You stop being always available first. You begin to appear a little more mysterious and a little more difficult to read. Not sure what you are thinking or feeling? She finds herself off balance abruptly. Apathy does not mean you cease loving. You stop letting her know how much you care. It's about learning to control your emotions and not letting her conduct control your response. Showing disinterest sends a big statement. I don't need you to be happy. On my own, I am okay. Go back now to your love tale. Remember how initially there was that thrill, that mystery, that sense of not knowing what would follow. You are meant to do just that. Applying indifference suggests you are not after her anymore. You are instead letting her miss you. And trust me, when she starts to feel that gap, she starts to become psychologically urgent. People instinctively find attraction in what they cannot have. You stop being so readily available, and she will begin to wonder, why isn't he texting me anymore? Has he maintained? Is someone else there visible to him? Her curiosity will bite at her until at last, she will want to reach out to find out what has changed. Your upper hand results from apathy. It changes the dynamic from you hunting her to her approaching you. So, think of yourself as ready to release the need for control and feel this will help you. The ball comes back into your court once you exhibit indifference. Tips 4. Reignite the person she fell in love with. Ever given the early years of your marriage any thought? They were exciting, fresh times full of potential when everything was new. When she first started feeling anything for you, you had something unique that caught her attention. It was the way you made her feel, not just about looks or words spoken. Perhaps that portion of you started to vanish a little over time as things calmed down. However, and every one of us goes through it, it is natural. Routine helps relationships to settle. Sometimes we lose contact with the person we initially knew. Then remember how you felt when you first met her? Not just with beautiful words or amazing deeds, but also by being the finest version of yourself, that spark of excitement, that eagerness to wow her. Return to those early conferences. You most certainly paid more attention, laughed more, and gave the little things she said significant consideration. You were maybe even a touch unpredictable, confident, and impetuous. Now let me transport you back to those memories. Seeing her smile from anything you said or did felt like when you laughed with her, or savored periods of tremendous connection. How did it feel? Those memories most likely bring a spectrum of emotions. The reality is, however, the qualities that attracted her in will still be inside you. They have not disappeared. They have simply been buried under the weight of everyday life, stress, and maybe a little complacency. How then may one flame be reignited? How can you be the person she fell in love with once more? Two simple techniques to get the answer are rediscovery and reinventions. Rediscovery is examining what passions motivated you from your past. What were your objectives? Why were you so excited about life? Start acting in such ways once again, for you as much as for her. Find the things that inspire confidence and vigor. That energy comes naturally. Reinventions make up the second equation component. Consider how you may level up even while you are restoring your previous self. Maybe it's time to develop better attitude, give self-care top priority, or take up new hobbies. When you start to be the best version of yourself, you show her someone much more than you just remind her of the man she fell in love with. Imagine this: she runs across you out with friends, grinning and enjoying life. You feel entirely at ease, serene, confident. She remembers those early days, and suddenly, she starts to miss that certain aspect of you. The magic happens at that moment. She starts to wonder, did I screw up? Now he looks much different. He's prospering. And in one instant, you change the situation. She starts to feel the drawback toward you as you have brought back the person she fell in love with. Tips 5. Take control of your happiness. Now, close your eyes and remember a time when you were totally at peace, that is, when you were delighted to be just yourself, doing what brought you pleasure. How felt it? Right, liberating? You may experience that sensation once again. The secret to not only getting her back, but also designing a life in which you flourish independent of her presence. Imagine it rather than someone who seems needy for your attention. Would you be more attracted to someone who is happy, confident, and comfortable with their life? You see, you stop looking for someone else to provide your happiness when you take charge of it. And this mental change is really appealing. Tip 6. Don't be afraid to walk away. Now consider this for a moment. Pursuits after someone are a clear indication that they are more important than you, and that your happiness depends on their selecting of you. But let's reverse that script. What if you showed her that you are secure enough to walk away should she fail to appreciate you instead? Walking away tells her you value yourself enough not to let someone else define you. The reality is also that you immediately start to seem more appealing when you are ready to go away. She will start to wonder, why is he okay without me? Was I incorrect? More importantly, however, you show her that you are whole and you will be okay whether she returns or not. At that moment, the tables flip and you grant her time to come to grips with what she has lost. The magic happens when you decide on that road. Walking away symbolizes starting a new chapter in which you are the one in power, not about concluding the story. Consider whether you would be ready to depart should she devalue you. Tips 7. Focus on personal growth. Though it may have been somewhat buried in the relationship, that version of you, the one who was relentless in search of self-improvement, is still there. Remember a time of your life before to meeting her, when you were totally preoccupied with your own aspirations, plans, and objectives. Do you recall your drive? How committed and tenacious you feel to reach the goals most important to you. The truth is that she found something in you that drew her ambition, energy, a love of life. Reconnecting with that part of yourself is thus the most powerful thing you can do right now. The one that never settles for less is always expanding and developing. Tips 8. Show her what she's missing. Most likely it was when you were living your life, focused on your goals and totally sure of who you were. That is the version of you she fell for and the one she should see once more. Remember a moment in your relationship when she most found attraction in you? Most likely it was not when you were chasing her or always seeking her approval. This only works if you are really living for yourself, not only acting. She will start to doubt. If she made a mistake when she sees you continuing on in your life, she will recall all the wonderful events and suddenly she will feel the weight of what she is deprived of. This only works, that is, if you are really living for yourself, not only acting. Point 9. Keep your cool, don't show desperation. This is a message of insecurity, of wanting her to feel whole. And even if it may come from a place of true love, one of the least appealing traits you could present. What message are you sending when you reach out? Text, call her repeatedly in a state of desperation? It's about recovering emotional control and showing her that you're not depending on her for your happiness, not about gaming. Keeping your calm allows you to give her the room to miss you, so the magic happens. Ask yourself then if you are ready to stop running after and start to concentrate on yourself. Tips 10. Trust the process. Patience is key. The truth is, she won't be returning overnight. It's a process that calls time, effort, and above all, patience. But I want you to consider something. When has something really worth having come readily? The best things in life take time. A profession, a personal ambition, or a relationship. Ask yourself then, are you ready to be patient and trust the process? Because when you do, you not only give her the time to miss you, but also give yourself the opportunity to develop and become even more powerful. And you will be in a far better position to have a stronger, better relationship when she returns. Having said that, really appreciated your seeing. Till next time.